And a good morning and welcome into your Thursday, August the 29th edition of In the Know. Sam Gormley filling in for MB today. Thanks for joining us on today's show. Got a big one planned for you. We're going to update you on some of the local news headlines, update you on some community events that are coming up, and of course, a whole lot more. So you know me, I'm not going to waste any more time, and we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest co-host for today. It's not Wednesday, but instead it's Thursday, and it all counts for the same from the Grayson County Extension Office. It's their ag agent, our good friend, and we hope yours, Whitney Carmen. Good morning, Whitney. How are you?
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. How about you?
Good. I appreciate you for we had to call an audible, and you were moved from yesterday to today, and we had to do some switching around, but I appreciate you being flexible there. Help me out for sure.
Yeah. Hey, anytime I can help out.
I know. I was thinking to myself this morning, man, I'm really busy. And then we were talking, and I was like, well, maybe I'm not that busy because you are also running around like crazy. Farm to Fork, I know, is coming up. What are we, a week away?
We are a week from today. That is right.
Now, Farm to Fork is, if you haven't been listening to the show, let's just say, for the first person, maybe they're hearing this for the first time. Can you tell me what it is? Can I still be involved? What is it? Just give me the details.
Well, the Farm to Fork dinner it's our second year doing this, and it was a brainchild from our Extension Council, and many other counties do this, and essentially it's to promote local produce, local products, and to also give back to the community. We this year our nonprofit that the proceeds of this dinner are going to go to are the 4-H Council, and so our CEC members voted on that. We had a lot of applications this year, and all of them were really good, and so but the 4-H Council won out, and so they are going to be the beneficiary of the proceeds. But the cool thing is that the dinner that is going to be on Thursday evening, it starts at 5:30. Limited to 150 people. I think we still have like 10 tickets left. So, I mean, we're real close to being full. And it is all local produce. I mean, 99% of the food that you're going to eat that night, it come from local producers. And local, I mean, within the county or like 5 to 10 miles around the county. So I'm really thankful for that. A lot of our farmers market vendors are the suppliers of that. So you've got, your pork, your beef, your chicken, your lamb this year. We're going to have lamb.
Okay.
And 3 different sides. So we're going to, we've got a lot of folks that are going to be a part of that. So I'm really thankful for them and really excited about it.
It seems like a really good event. This is year 2, right?
Yes, it is. It's our second year. And, we try to do something different a little every year. This year we're using multiple caterers, so Steak and Stone and Farmer's Feed Mill and the Storehouse are all 3 catering different parts of the meal. And I'm glad that they're apart and that we can work together. And I'm excited to see how that goes. But it's going to be a big thing. I'm excited it's grown each year.
And I'm looking ahead, and this is a perfect transition into the weather. It's thankful it's not this Thursday, because it would be a little warm outside to be eating that. But next Thursday, looking ahead, it's looking like you're going to have perfect weather, which I believe you had last year. Didn't you have just perfect night?
It was perfect. It was like 83 degrees, and it came a little cloud, looked like it was going to shower, but it didn't. So it was overcast, and it ended up being a beautiful evening. So my fingers are crossed for something similar this year, but in the chance or the event of rain, or hopefully not extreme heat like we've had this year or this week, but it would be the secondary location is here at the Extension Office.
It is going to be another hot day ahead with highs in the 95 to 100 degree range. Isolated downpours and thunderstorms are possible. It's just kind of one of those things that it's that hot. It's going to get in there. Most of those are going to be north of us, but it's just going to be muggy tonight. Once again, by the morning, I mean, we're not even going to get into the 60s tonight. Again, tomorrow, really hot. Chance of storms in the afternoon. It's just pretty much what you would expect for the end of August. Luckily, though, the weekend is going to be a little bit nicer. It's supposed to rain on Saturday, potentially. 70% chance of that with a high around 86. Sunday, 88. Labor Day is looking perfect. No chance of rain, 82 degrees. So I guess we're going to pay the price for the hot weather this week and get a good holiday weekend. Whitney, I know you sent me a message this morning, and it sounds like that maybe part of the reason that we're getting these hot temperatures is because of something called corn sweat.
Yeah, this has been in the news this week. I've seen multiple weather outlets locally and nationally talking about this because of the weather we've had. And, you've heard corn sweat and people are like, "What?" And it's a real phenomenon. And, we are in a rural community, and if you haven't looked out and or around, you can kind of see once you get outside of Litchfield or, your metropolis, quote unquote metropolis areas in the county, there's a lot of corn and a lot of soybeans. And so corn sweat is actually a process that, it's a living, breathing thing. And so it will expel moisture as part of its growing process. And so it will actually increase the dew point, which thus increases the humidity in the water in the air. And so it will make it feel like it's hotter than it really is. So in the Midwest, it really is, that they've really had some issues with it this week. But I just thought it was interesting. And somebody said that, I think it was one of my grain specialists said that I think a single acre of corn gives off about 3,000 gallons of water per day. So that's a
Oh,
lot.
wow.
It transpires. Yeah, evapotranspiration is what it's called if you want to be scientific about it.
Interesting. Yeah. See, when you sent me this term earlier today, and I mean, I know very, very, in fact, I can say I know nothing really about agriculture at all. But when I heard this, I was like, what's she want to talk about? So I had to give
Yeah.
it a Google. And I was like, I didn't know that was
Yeah.
even a thing. So interesting.
It sure is. Yeah, now
Interesting.
it's probably not terrible in this county or in and around us, but I mean, the further west you go and out into the Corn Belt where they've had a lot of extreme heat this week too, it makes it feel. And if you're a farmer or if you're somebody that lives around a cornfield, you kind of feel it. Like it, you're close to it, or if you're out in it, you're sweaty by the time you get out of there.
Yeah, no doubt. It's warm. It packs the heat in there. A couple of the news headlines that we're going to jump into here. The gunman in the assassination attempt on former President Trump searched online for events of both Trump and Biden, looked up information about explosives over the last 5 years, and eyed the Pennsylvania campaign rally where he opened fire as a target of opportunity. They've conducted over 1,000 interviews. They still don't have a motive for Thomas Matthew Crooks, but they believe that he conducted, quote, extensive attack planning. The FBI analysis of his online search history reveals a sustained, detailed effort to plan an attack on some event, meaning he looked at any number of events or targets. Once a Trump rally was announced for July 13 in Butler, Pennsylvania, he became hyper-focused on that specific event and looked at it as a target of opportunity. His internet searches in the days leading up to the rally included queries about where will Trump speak from, the podium, and photos from the farm show as well. Apparently, in the 30 days prior to the attack, he did more than 60 internet searches related to Biden and Trump, including seeking the dates of both the Democratic and Republican national conventions. And he also apparently did a Google search for how far away was Oswald from Kennedy. Of course, Lee Harvey Oswald was the shooter who killed President Kennedy in 1963.
Well, and I actually visited that location about a month ago, so
It's been
it's interesting.
probably, it's actually probably in 15 years ago almost since I've been there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it's not like there's much there, I guess.
Right.
And it's really we didn't go into the did you go into the book depository?
It was closed the day that I was
Okay.
there, and so because the day that I was able to actually go and tour and do a little sightseeing for my meeting, it was miserably hot and the place was closed. But we did walk around and see all of the sites, and it's interesting. I mean, we looked at the X marks the spot place and where Oswald was supposedly at. You could look up and see, but we actually didn't go into the fourth or the whatever level it was that was um, you could actually go in and see.
Yes, and I guess in a lot of ways I might have been too young to appreciate, if that's the right word, or something along the lines of that. A couple of the other headlines that we could bring you. The Grayson County Fair continues today as the gates open at 4 o'clock. Entry is $15. Rides and vendors open at 5. Tonight, you have the Miss Preteen Grayson County Fair pageant and the Little Miss and Mr. Grayson County Fair pageant. The karaoke contest is tonight. And then you've got demolition derbies tonight at 7 o'clock as well. I know they love those. Love the demolition
Hey,
derbies.
my son, when he was little, that was his favorite part of the fair.
I haven't been to the fair yet this year. I did love seeing, and I don't know if you saw the pictures, yesterday they did the sensory-free afternoon at the fair for Grayson County Schools students who,
I did see that.
for one, phenomenal idea. Phenomenal idea. Whoever came up with that, great idea. And two, seeing the joy on the faces, that probably made whatever the amount of planning that went into it, it made it all worth it. It was really cool. So good on the fair for making that happen. I thought it was awesome.
It's always great to include those that may have more issues than, and we are lucky if we don't have those issues, but, to be able to be inclusive, I think was great.
Yes, it was really good to see. A couple of other headlines. A Hardin County teenager has been accused of stabbing a relative multiple times. Connor Heron of Radcliffe was arrested Tuesday afternoon and charged with second-degree assault and intimidating a participant in the legal process. While in an argument, he allegedly stabbed a male relative in the arm and lower back. He's accused of taking the victim's cell phone so he could not call 911. Also in E-Town, a man has been arrested after allegedly threatening a local judicial official. The E-Town Police Department was notified that 37-year-old Kelron Decoto, I don't know how to say his last name, made a threat against a local judicial official. It sounds like that there was a connection between this case and the E-Town Independent School District. They informed the school district of the potential threat. The school district enacted soft lockdown procedures. At the time, no safety was in concern at all. He was arrested and lodged in Taylor County, and he will later be transferred to Hardin County. There's the story out of Washington County where a man has been found guilty of a murder committed over 10 years ago. I remember that we covered this story. It's been, I guess, a year and a half ago when they arrested 43-year-old Jonathan Puckett for murdering 20-year-old Ray Pendergraph in August of 2014 in Springfield. They arrested this Puckett in Texas for this, in Garland, Texas, and they were able to track him down 10 years later. It came after the Washington County Sheriff's Office discovered the body in a burned Dodge Caliber at the Springfield Water Reservoir on August the 1st of 2014. Puckett was found guilty and sentenced to life plus 20 years in prison. Just a crazy story, and good on investigators for never giving up. It took them almost 10 years to find it, but I'm sure that family is good to have. I don't know if closure is the right word, but in some instances, I guess, you feel you have justice.
The only word.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
justice.
you feel justice or feel like it's been, you're not left hanging.
Exactly.
If anything.
It's because I can't imagine what that's like. It's like the Crystal Rogers family. I can't imagine what they go through and not having an answer, even though that they know what happened in their heart of heart. They still would love to know the answer and have somebody pay, which seems like we're getting closer to that aspect.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot going on with that too.
Yes, and I would love to. And if, like, in all seriousness, if we had the truth serum, I would love to give truth serum to not even just the Hawks or however it is, to just like the lead detective from KSP.
Right. Yeah.
I know our
an
good
idea
friend
what's going
Scotty
on.
Sharp, I believe, was one of who is now a PIO, the head of that. I would love to, and if he's listening right now, if you want to give a truth serum and just tell me everything, that's fine, but I know you can't. But I'd love to just be able to hear all of the theories and so on. It would make there's been so many documentaries and podcasts and so on with that, but you could make 1,000 of those, and I'd probably watch every single one of them. Just because it's wild.
Say that when the statute of limitations are up, I'm sure there will be even more.
Oh, yes, without question. Hunters have a variety of migratory birds to choose from during the fall hunting seasons that begins on September the 1st. The most popular is dove hunting, and then you have early Canada goose season in the western goose zone begins on Sunday as well. Seasons for other species, including rails, woodcock, snipe, and sandhill cranes, followed later in the year. So the two goose hunting zones, western end of the state is 1st through the 15th, and the eastern end of the state is 16th through the 20th. Wood duck and teal season begins on September the 21st, and that lasts for 5 days. So if you're interested in hunting those, I always like that we give these information, but Whitney, I'd imagine that if you're hunting those things, you've probably had the countdown on your calendar. You've got it circled. You're waiting. I don't think I'm giving anyone any information that they're surprised by, but
Yeah, I was gonna say the first, for those that actually really are into it, a lot of them are doing plots. They do sunflower plots and different things especially for dove. Dove's really popular around here, and it's Labor Day weekend, and so that's usually the weekend. Labor Day weekend's when you can go dove hunting, and so when I was a kid, if you were lucky enough to get the tobacco off the ground behind the barns, that's where everybody would sit and hang out and dove hunt over the weekend. But it's I think for our area, that's more of a family time too. When I think about dove hunting and migratory bird hunting, it's more of it's a family thing, and a lot of my friends do that too. So
yeah, and I'm probably sure that I didn't need to tell your friends that they can go on
Yeah.
Sunday. I'm sure that they've.
But it's good information.
It is.
And if
'Cause,
somebody's
listen-
wanting to get into it, this would be a great weekend to start.
Yes, and great weather too to do it, and I'm
And-
sure that you could find somebody that is great at it that you could learn a lot from.
That, and it is important to know too, if you're 12 or older, you need your orange card in order to do that too. So just make sure that that's the life that I'm living right now, is trying to get that with my kid. But it is, make sure that you have all of your permits and that your licenses and all of that too, if you're going to hunt migratory birds this weekend.
No, this is probably a dumb question, but coming from somebody who doesn't hunt, where do you get those? I don't know.
The Kentucky Fish and Wildlife
Okay.
has a website where you can
Okay,
purchase
so you
permits
can do it online.
Yeah, you can do it online, and I don't know if the local used to, you could get them at your sporting goods stores, so like your Walmart, your Dick's Sporting Goods, you could get them there as well. So you
I think we might have lost you there for a second. Your audio might have frozen out there. I don't know what might have happened there, but we can try and see what it is. Your camera's fine. It's on your audio, so I'm not entirely sure on your Oh, there we go. You're back now.
Am I back? Yeah.
Yes, you're back. Okay. Well, here, I'm not a hunter. I just mentioned that. That's not necessarily surprising. Matt Jones and I have that in common. I have a very similar Matt Jones style of life, I guess, in a lot of ways. So what else do Matt Jones and I have in common? Well, we're looking forward to Saturday when Kentucky kicks off the new season. Mark Stoops thinks that starting quarterback Brock Vandegrift has what it takes to be successful. Kentucky takes on Southern Miss at 7:45 Eastern, so it's 6:45 here in between the lakes at good old K. Roger Field. Whitney, what do you think for the Cats this year? Are you optimistic? How do you read into it?
Can you hear me?
I can. Yes, you're back now.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll say that. I think that our defense is going to be really good this year. So I guess the question mark is going to be our quarterback. I feel like that's been the broken record the last couple of years.
For the Mark Stoops era, it's all about the quarterback. It's all
So,
about the quarterback.
But I do think that but I will say this, I heard someone talk about the other day where he played for Georgia. I mean, I don't think he got many reps for Georgia, but he is in that program. They're the number one in the nation, so he had to be decent. So, and I do think that he's got the skills, I think, and he's got a good supporting cast. So hopefully we'll be okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just ready to get football rolling, whether it's the NFL, whether it's college. We got high school started last week, so I'm excited to get it all rolling. It just means that
My
fall is
Tigers
on the
got
way.
to win.
I saw that. It was a heck of an offensive performance, too. 50-48
It was.
against Fort Knox.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break,
Yeah.
come back. Where's Quacky? Continues after this here on In the Know.
Owensboro Health offers compassionate care for addiction recovery. Nurse practitioner Kristen Buck provides a foundation of recovery from alcohol, opioids, and other addictive substances. With inpatient detox and outpatient medical assisted treatment, you don't have to walk alone on the road to recovery. To learn more about Owensboro Health Addiction Services in Litchfield, Kentucky, call 270-230-0212 or visit owensborohealth.org/addictionhelp.
Yellowwood knows that a 5-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories. Like roasting marshmallows on a cool fall night. That's it. Turn it nice and slow. Get it toasted all... Oh, no, it's on fire. Oh, you want it on fire. Okay, that's a choice, I guess. Crunchy. For 5-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
The Grayson County Fair only comes once a year, and it's already underway. Don't miss out on a second of wholesome family fun with tonight's lineup when the gates open at 4. Rides operate from 5 to close, and the Miss Preteen, Little Miss, and Mr. and Mrs. and Miss pageants begin at 6:30. Karaoke starts at 7, and tonight's grandstand features a mini car derby starting at 7 o'clock. The 75th Annual Grayson County Fair is sponsored by Infinity Pools and Spas. Visit GraysonCountyFair.net to grab your tickets or for more info. The Grayson County Fair at the Fairgrounds. Be there. Be sorry.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Holiday World and Splash and Safari, our family loves you. But look, I'm trying to teach my kids there's nothing free in life, and then we get here and there's a lot that's free. Parking, sunscreen, soft drinks. We love water coasters like Mammoth, the new family coaster Good Gravy, and 500 drones lighting up the sky. But the whole ride home, all I hear is...
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Okay, I guess some things in life are free.
Get tickets today at holidayworld.com.
Today is According to Hoyle Day, honoring Britain's Edmund Hoyle on the anniversary of his death. He's the guy who formalized the rules to many popular games. So apparently, according to Hoyle means play by the rules. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you really?
I have not, but
Oh.
I have not heard it. But I will say I'm a rule follower, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have it when people make up their, make up the rules like an Uno or something, change the rules. Listen, those are, or Monopoly can get heated in the families. It is the International Day.
Yes, that's why we don't.
Oh, yes. International Day Against Nuclear Tests. More Herbs, Less Salt Day. I would imagine that Natalie would probably be in favor of that.
She would agree with that.
It is Chop Suey Day. I'm sure she could teach us to make that. No, you're out?
Out.
Out on the stir fry? Mm-hmm. Lemon Juice Day. And it is Thoughtful Thursday. Thoughtful Thursday. So it's the day to, part of Be Kind to Humankind Week, a time to be mindful of others. Feel like that should be every day. We should be mindful of others.
Be very demure, very mindful.
Oh, there you go. We've now talked about demure like 3 times on this week's show, and I still don't really know what it means.
I don't either. In fact, I asked my, because I'm still trying to stay up with the times with my kiddos, and they're even like, I don't really know. So
Oh, see, I was going to say that
Somebody
would
said
be
it.
the people that would have to. I mean, they're the ones that are going to have to teach us these things, because I am now getting to the point where, because we have high school kids that work on our K105 crew, and they'll say things sometimes, and I'm like, can you speak English? And I'm like, and then I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, you're old.
You're not old though. You're
I know, but I'm saying,
not old at all.
but if I'm getting to the point where I don't understand the vernacular, isn't that the way of, like, that's my first step into being old?
Well, yes, among other things, but I think that
I
you're
mean,
also
I hurt in the morning.
maybe you're just
My bones pop.
adult.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
I'm one step there. It is also day number
Yeah.
19 of Where's Quacky, but first we have to go back to day number 18, and that is not day number 18. Day number 18 was this, and I don't know if I think you have been here before, Whitney. You might know where this is. This was yesterday's ECTC Litchfield, and Wendy Sumner Lambert was one of many that got this one correct. So how about day number 19 of Where's Quacky? If you know where Quacky is, you can visit the K105 Facebook page, drop your answer in there, and you might be the winner of a free duck in the Ducking Hunger Regatta. Those ducks are going fast, so make sure you get yours. You don't want to miss the chance. I mean, listen, $5 duck, you could win 1,000.
That's this weekend too, correct?
It is Monday. Yes, is the Ducking Hunger Regatta.
Well,
And you can watch that by K105 Digital Productions as well. So we'll have the stream for you. And I am quite excited for that. It is.
gonna say.
I don't know if you watch the stream, Whitney, but it is. You wouldn't think that it gets intense, but because you don't know which one's your duck until the very end when they announce the winners. But there's just the hope that you're like, oh, I know that one's mine. That one's mine. And I know we've been out training our ducks. So we've been working. Yeah, we've put them through. We may have even we checked into the rule book. Steroids not against the rules. So we've been doing it. I know coming up here in a couple of weeks, you have the small ruminant program, Whitney, which when I was talking with you earlier, I didn't know how to pronounce that, which means that I know nothing about that, and I can't. Well, I probably am the only person listening that doesn't know what that means, because I'm that kind of person. Tell me what it is, please.
Well, the small ruminant program is another one that's coming up here at the office, but it's in conjunction with several other specialists and the Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office. And we are seeing a lot more, and ruminants, like I told you, are, they're 4-compartment stomachs. So there are sheep, are goats, cows are ruminants, deer are ruminants, but cervids. So this one is related to goats and sheep. We're going to have specialists and a lot of other experts in the field going to be here on Saturday, this September 14th. The deadline to apply for that is September the 6th, and so you'll have to register online. We have a link at our website, and if you've got questions, you can call us and we can send it to you. But there is a registration fee, and forgive me because I don't know the amount of it. I think it's $15 or something, but they just for lunch. We're going to cover lunch for you that day, but it is a whole day long process, and I encourage anyone that is in sheep or goat production that kind of want to learn a little bit more about it or thinking about getting into it to come to this and enjoy your day.
Yeah, it sounds like a really interesting thing, and maybe it's something that I should attend because I don't know what ruminant means, and I'd probably assume that I would learn what it is that day.
You need to go to the ag classes at the high school when you're there and just see what Miss Emily can get for you, Miss Taylor.
Yes.
So she's the one that can teach you about that.
I interviewed her last year ahead of Farm to Fork, and we talked about all kinds of things. And I think I even told her when I sat down, as I said, I could sit here and we could make this interview 12 hours long because I could sit here and just ask you questions because I know that if I put the seed in the ground and cover it with dirt and water it, something's going to come out. But
Maybe.
Yes, hopefully. If I put it in but see, I wouldn't know, like, do I put, this seed, is it the right soil for it? Am I getting it the right sunlight and all of that? That's just, it's
Ag is science.
It
so
is.
That's what I tell people all the time. It is, and if you don't know something, and I learn something every day in this job, so it's part of it, but that's part of our job is to educate. And if you don't know something about it, you can always ask because, somebody's going to have an answer.
Google is a wonderful resource. Google is a wonderful resource.
Correctly.
Yes. But also you all are as well, because if someone has questions, they can reach out to you all as well, and you all will help. The part that I love about you all too is that, like me, I'm sure someone out there listening is like, man, this idiot, like, he knows nothing. But you all will not have that reaction. Like, there are no dumb questions.
Mm-mm. There are no dumb questions, and the amount of, it's interesting you say that because I worked at the state fair last week and then came back, so it's been a little busy, but this week we've had so many things come in and so many people ask questions. It's kind of, you're like, okay, this is the fun part of my job, is to be able to look for things for people and figure out what's going on. We've had, the cool thing for us in Extension is we have the resources at UK, the specialists, the experts. So if we don't know it, we can ask. And so I have sent many samples of different, crops and vegetables and things this week just to the diagnostic lab to figure out what's wrong with them. So, we have a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge in our back pocket. So I encourage anyone to use it. And we're really easy to get a hold of. We're everywhere. We're on internet. We're on, phone. You can find us on Facebook, and you can email us. You can call us. We're around.
Yeah, it's a really good resource to use. And you can go visit too. I still have
That's
not
right.
been to your all's new location yet, and I
you
need
should
to. We need to plan that out sometime, and because I drive by it. This time of year I drive by it seemingly every single day, going to the high school.
Yeah, we are pretty close to the high
Yes.
school.
There are some days where I might just need to ask you if I can throw a cot in the side so that I don't have to
Hey,
drive all the way to
we've got
Clarkson.
room. We've got room.
I know, Whitney, you are busy obviously with work, but with kids as well. A mom is going viral on TikTok for a claim about when she serves dinner. As a family, when is your goal? Do you have a goal that you try to have dinner by this time, or is it really just if the kids get fed, then that's all that matters?
At this point in time, if the kids get fed, we're doing good. I will say this though, with my daughter playing softball currently, the team gets to eat right after school, and luckily enough, we've got some great individuals in our school system that kind of help feed them. So she's usually pretty well taken care of 3 nights a week. But the other ones, it's like, okay, we've got snacks in the car. I've got a little snack bag, and we're either eating at 3:30, 4 o'clock dinner, or we're eating at 9:30, and it's usually whatever was in the crock pot, whatever was left over from last night, or scrambled eggs, because that's easy and quick.
So it's interesting that you make that point up, is because this mom on TikTok serves dinner at 4:30 every single
Okay.
day. And her reasoning is, and it makes sense, but
Okay.
I think probably the criticism to this is something like you said, is just I can't make dinner at 4:30 because I'm running around doing 47 other things at 4:30. But
Yeah,
she
I'm usually
says
not off work till 4:30.
yeah, exactly. So it's just not possible. But what she says pretty much is, the long story short is that when her kids come home from school, they want a snack, and then the issue is that they eat the snack and then they don't want to eat dinner.
Sure.
And she says, does anyone else eat dinner at 4:25 because your kids asked for a snack, and if they had a snack, they wouldn't eat dinner, so you just serve them dinner. A lot of parents liked this after-school routine. Early dinners are superior. Even with my teens, they're famished after school. Early dinner, then an evening snack. Someone says we eat dinner around 4 or 4:30, then cereal or peanut butter and jelly or something right before bed. Now on the other side, someone says, yeah, no, I work until 4:30. Snacks before dinner, you can only have some fruit. So then I'm not mad if they don't eat much at dinner. But it is just, it's an interesting discussion to have, because like you mentioned, is that not every parent has the ability to serve dinner at 4:30, even though it might be the best thing to do sometimes.
Right. Well, and I am in her realm of thinking, whenever we don't have something going on, I would rather do early dinner, because I'd like to get home, get it done, and then I don't have to do anything else the rest of the evening. And so, we tend to eat dinner earlier than later. Plus, when, your kids, I try to get to bed at a decent hour too. And so, all of that entails. But I mean, and at the end of the day, what difference does it make? If you want to feed your kids at 4:30, great. If you don't want to feed them until 8 o'clock when they get home, fine, go ahead. My thing is as long as they're getting something, and the after school hangry is a real thing because then I've gotten to where and if anybody has kids that are athletes or kids that are even in band or in some of these things where they're going to be after school for a while or doing things, we pack high protein snacks because I mean, if they're hungry when they get home, they're usually not happy, and they're not happy to see you. So we just try to alleviate all of that.
There's a lot of hormones going on there. When you combine that with the hungriness, it's fun. It's fun to deal with. Heck, I mean, I'm almost 30, and when I'm hungry,
Oh, I'm not a very nice person when I'm hungry.
I don't think
either.
everybody gets a little hangry sometimes. And then I found this really fun, and if I had another hand, I would be able to pull the picture up, but you can find it if you give it a Google. Liquid Death, the water, which I've never had. I've seen it. I've never tried it. And Yeti are combining to get you ready for spooky season. They are collaborating on what has been described as the most sinister cooler we've ever seen. It is the Casket Cooler. It is a cooler shaped like a casket, and it is life-sized like an actual casket, and it is perfect for your Halloween party. They're auctioning it off right now. The starting bid is $1,500 for this. And I mean, Yetis are not a cheap cooler either.
No.
I've not been able to see if this is for a charity or something. I would imagine if you're auctioning it off, that it is going to be something.
Up casket.
Yes. So did you find the picture of it? Yeah, it is
I found the picture of it.
So it is 83 inches wide, 23 inches high, and 28 inches deep. It would fit. So a 12-ounce can of this is the water. So you could just think a 12-ounce can of Coke or however you want to do it. 378 cans of that.
Oh my gosh.
Without ice, it weighs 85 pounds. With ice and 378 cans, that thing is going to weigh like an actual casket with somebody in it.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh. Which, I mean, I get the novelty of it, but I'm like you. Is there a backstory? Is there something that...
Yeah, and there's nothing that I can find in this story that says, oh, yes, it is to benefit the... I don't know, but I'm also just... Here's what I'm wondering is, yes, this is really cool. Great. If you had the money to drop on this, where are you going to store this? And then also...
In your garage, I'd be like,
Yeah, and then your friend's going to come over that wasn't invited to that party. They're going to walk in and they're going to say, you planning something? What's the casket for? It's just,
that's interesting.
I don't know. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, we've got some of your celebrity news, including some updates on Beetlejuice. We'll talk about that coming up next here on In the Know.
To make me feel better. All I wanna know is, can I get her? Juicy double patty, the McNuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow, yeah, McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order on the app or the drive-thru quick, $5, that's some deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money.
Well, hey there, it's Dwight Whitten with News Radio 840. Summertime is finally here. Whether you ride, pedal, walk, drive, Kentuckians are reminded to follow the rules of the road as traffic increases across the state of Kentucky. Buckle up, put the phone down, obey the speed limit, and always travel sober. If you're riding a bike or a motorcycle, wear that helmet. If you're walking, stay visible. Let's work together for the safety of everyone using our roadways. Be safe, Kentucky. Brought to you by Team Kentucky and the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk, too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday, but sometimes we don't see what's right in front of us. Victory over cancer is in front of us. Right now, cancer research is saving lives. Cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to new discoveries and new treatments and ultimately, one day, victory over cancer. Give to the V Foundation. Right now, 1 out of every 2 men and 1 out of every 3 women will get cancer in their lifetime. Now is your moment. You may save someone you love. 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing research. 100%. Donate at v.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm tracking team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, sohd.info.
Twin Lakes weather.
It's like the movie Groundhog Day, right? Rinse and repeat over and over again. At least some changes are coming our way for the weekend, but until then, we've got to just buckle down and deal with another round of intense heat, highs into the upper 90s to perhaps record levels. The record today in Louisville anyway is 99 degrees, set back in 1953. There's also a chance for an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon. For the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Brian Good.
All summer.
This is the 105 Days of Summer. It's going to be the hottest summer yet. Brought to you by Midway Pharmacy.
Summer!
On the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.
Did you know? This is an interesting one here for you, Whitney. I honestly did not know this, and I don't know if this is another aspect of me just being young and naive. Did you know when you take a picture sometimes, and it's not necessarily a big issue with iPhones, but when you take a camera, the red eye that you would get in people, do you know what causes that?
I don't.
It's a reflection of the blood in the back of your eye.
Well, I have heard that there has been some issues with like children where they take a picture and they see something in the eye, like from a photo in the camera, and it has helped doctors or helped parents go, something's wrong with their eyes, and they go and get a diagnosis. I don't know what that is, but I have heard of stories with that.
I had just, and I've seen things like that as well. It just shows how good technology, technology is a blessing and a curse.
Yes,
and
it is.
That is an option of where it actually can be very helpful. But it's also, it's fantastic, and I'm sure for you as a mom as well, that it's so nice having this, that instead of carrying around the camera, to be able to, if Caroline has a really good game at softball, if she plays tonight, you can take the picture of her after the game. And you can remember that, so when it pops up on the time hop or whatever it is, that in 6 years when she graduates high school, 8 years, or 9 years, however long it is when she graduates high school, that you'll be able to say, remember this, when you had your first whatever it is. And it's just cool that we get those moments as well. And it's super easy to, and listen, those things take great pictures too.
They really do. Yeah, they really do.
It's awesome.
You can argue with whether you're an Apple or an Android fan and whatever takes the best pictures, but they are still miles ahead of what they were even 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes. So. I upgraded from an iPhone XR, or one of the X's to the newest 15, I guess is what it is, and wow. Wow. And that was about 5 years difference, and it's drastic. The zoom is what blows my mind. Are you excited for Beetlejuice?
I am. Of course, that was something that we watched as kids, but I'll be interested to see if it's as good as what everybody's saying. So, I mean, we'll probably watch it for sure because, we enjoy that kind of stuff. But
Have your kids seen the original?
They have not seen the original.
Okay.
They've seen there's a cartoon version of it, I think, that they've seen.
Really?
They've not seen the original in-person one.
And see, it's been a while since I've seen the original, but Winona Ryder, of course, one of the stars of it, she explains that when she joined the cast of Stranger Things, which is wrapping up its final season, she put language in her contract that dictated that if a sequel ever came of Beetlejuice, she would get the time needed off from the Netflix show to participate. That there would be one as far from a sure thing. She said she was shocked when there finally was a script. So it's kind of interesting that she added that in without even knowing what it is. But Tim Burton said he's not out to do a sequel for money. He wanted to do this for personal reasons. So I'm intrigued. I don't know that I'll go to the theater for it, but when it's on Netflix in a year or two, I'll give it a watch. But my expectations are, I don't know. They're
just I'm kind of like, I just want to wait and see. It's been so long since, like I said, we've seen the originals and the originals came out that it's like, well, maybe it's just a new, kind of like Ghostbusters. It's like, oh, well, we're just going to revitalize it, and this whole new generation of kids and people will maybe fall in love with
Top
it again
Gun
or something.
is in that same realm too and it's a different. I know it's a very different kind of movie.
For me, it was Twisters over the weekend. We watched it. The kids.
And see, I've not seen either. I've not seen the original Twister.
You have not seen the original Twister?
No, I've not. And I'm not a movie.
Well, as if you need homework. But
yeah, I've got enough to do this week. But I'm not a big movie person. Like, I've just never been somebody that watches. Like, I mentioned this yesterday on the show that I've not been to the movie theater since Deadpool 2 came out, which was over 6 years ago.
Is my husband and I, of course, we dated for years before we got married, all through school and college, and that's all we did was watch movies because, we didn't really have a lot of money, and to go on a date, you just went to the movies and you ate at McDonald's and came home. But he has not been to the theater in a really long time, and he had to go out of town not too long ago. He was like, he had some time to spare, and he was like, I'm going to go catch a movie. And so he went and watched the new Deadpool by himself. He was that weird guy.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that I can't tell whether I want to be that weird guy that goes and sees that movie, because that's one that I'm actually interested in seeing.
Yeah, he really enjoyed it. So of course he likes that kind of comedy.
And I do too. That comedy's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
It is not. It is not. So if you are not a
raunchy,
kind of rough around the around the edges is what I was gonna say, kind of comedy, I don't think it's for you. But he enjoyed it, and he didn't care about going by himself. He just was like, I haven't been to a theater, and he goes, I really miss it. After we went.
If I would have known that, me and him should have gone together. We should have done this. We could have.
He'd have been like, hey, let's go.
We could have gone and seen the movie. Adele's Munich residency venue is set to become the world's first portable stadium. This is a purpose-built 74,000 capacity purpose-built structure that could be used to hold major concerts around the globe. So the way I'm understanding this is it's almost like it's a circus. You know how the circus can pop up and go?
Like, circus. Yeah.
Interesting. I just found it interesting. And
then
then
put it on a train and take it?
I guess in Europe you would imagine that would be the case. And then the host of the 2025 Golden Globes, I know, Whitney, you have just been, I think you haven't slept in weeks just worrying about who it might be. Nikki Glaser is going to be hosting.
I think that would be okay. She is not my favorite comedian, but she's decent. I'll listen to her from time to time. Or watch her from time to time.
Yeah, let's be honest, I'm not going to watch the Golden Globes anyways, so it's not like it has any impact on me whatsoever on who the host is. They could have said, I don't think there's anybody that would have actually gotten me to watch that. And then today, and we can just leave you pretty much just a headline, John Stamos was allegedly recruited to join the Church of Scientology, but it didn't last long because he was too annoying to join the controversial group. He said, He said, that's pretty bad. To be kicked out of that group, he says, I must have been pretty terrible. So there you go. John Stamos, not in the Church of Scientology anymore. We'll take a break, wrap up the show after this. You're on In the Know.
At some point in your life, you'll reach a fork in the road that'll force you to decide between doing what's right or doing what's wrong. When you do, how will you decide which path to take? Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. Right now, you may be considering some big decisions, like whether or not to divorce your spouse, or have an affair, or to walk away from your family, or perhaps to terminate a pregnancy. Whatever your situation, there's a benefit to doing the right thing that people typically overlook. Do what's right, and you won't bear the guilt that comes from doing what's wrong. Let me explain it this way. Doing the right thing can be difficult. It often demands that we face difficulties head-on or stand firm in the face of adversity, and that can cost us financially, relationally, or otherwise. But doing what we know is wrong often comes with additional baggage, feelings of guilt and regret, and perhaps bitterness. You see, there's no guarantee doing the right thing will be painless. You may still struggle with the stress that often accompanies tough choices, but at least you won't have to carry the additional burden of guilt or shame for your actions. And when it's all said and done, stress is a lot easier to work through than regret or guilt. So if you're facing a difficult choice, do the right thing. It'll pay off in the long run. For more tips on making good decisions, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house to see a coaster that's new for the entire crew and they call it Good Gravy.
Good Gravy, the new family roller coaster at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Twist and turn past a gigantic rolling pin, milk bottle, and more in a race to save Thanksgiving dinner. First forwards, then backwards. It's fun with a little gravy on top. Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Hey everybody, it's Nick Coffey here from Sports Talk 790. Summertime is finally here. Whether you ride, pedal, walk, or drive, Kentuckians are reminded to follow the rules of the road as traffic increases across the state. So buckle up, put the phone down, obey the speed limit, and always travel sober. If riding a bike or a motorcycle, wear a helmet. If walking, stay visible. Let's work together for the safety of everyone using our roadways. Be safe, Kentucky. Brought to you by Team Kentucky and the Office of Highway Safety.
Welcome back here to In the Know for your Thursday. Whitney Carmen is our guest co-host. And Whitney, I've got a big point to ponder here for you today. And one that I'm actually interested in your answer to. Are you ready for this? If you could give a superpower to your kids or your husband, what are you giving them?
That would be two different things.
I was going to say, it can be different answers. And I'm sure it probably would be even different answers maybe for your kids, right?
Yeah. I think that probably, oh my gosh, I don't know. If I could give a superpower, like it's got to be something like flying or something like that.
I guess it could be, somebody who could do the dishes better than anybody, I guess, if that's
what I was going to say.
I mean, you could It could be something. It doesn't necessarily need to be a superpower they would want.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know. That's a tough one. Probably for my kids at this point in time, if I could give them the ability to have a little get up and go in the morning, that would be grateful. I would be grateful for that.
Can you send that to me? I wouldn't mind that. I'm not a morning person at all.
Yeah. And then I guess it's really kind of a superpower now is, if you talk about superpowers, you hear it all the time, is common sense. Have a little bit of common sense about some things, which is becoming less and less. And I noticed that I'm part of the problem. I don't probably teach them common sense as much as I should, but things like that.
It was an interesting question. I obviously don't have kids, so I didn't know, but I don't know what I would want if I had kids to, like, would I want them to be able to fly? I feel like there's an age where that might be not necessarily the thing that you want.
Yeah, that, and I was like, invisibility, but no.
No, yeah. Would you want a 3-year-old to be able to fly?
No.
No. But would you want a 16-year-old to be able to fly?
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean.
Potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on how much you trust them. Yeah, it's the interesting discussion.
I would trust Caroline. I would trust Caroline before I would trust Jackson.
On TV tonight on CBS, Big Brother. People Magazine presents Crimes of the 2010s on the ID channel. The U.S. Open continues tonight in tennis. And 60 Days Locked In on A&E, counting down the top 50 participants to ever get locked up in the program. Never watched that show. I know it's been on for a long time.
Not a day.
Not watched it. On this date,
college football tonight?
Yes, there is actually college football. I don't know if there's any good games, though, now that you're saying this.
I don't either. I just thought it started because it's Thursday night.
There is college football because we're 1 week away from the NFL season kicking off. You have Ravens and Chiefs. On this date, 19 years ago, Hurricane Katrina struck the coast of Louisiana. 19 years ago today.
That. How many years ago?
19.
I was a freshman in college.
19.
I had just moved into UK.
My parents were, I believe it was this year, they were there like a week and a half before.
Oh my gosh.
On vacation. On this date, 1958, the U.S. Air Force Academy opened in Colorado Springs. On this date, 1966, the Beatles concluded their fourth American tour with their last public concert at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Birthdays today, not a lot of them. Elliot Gould, the actor, is 86. Neil Gorsuch, the Supreme Court Justice, is 57. Leah Michele, she was the lead in Glee. She's 38. Noah Syndergaard, he's 32. And Liam Payne from One Direction is 31. Is 31.
31.
Yeah. Whitney, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Yeah.
I assume hopefully we'll have you back next week, but if not, good luck on Farm to Fork. Again, really quick for those that are listening that you said there's still a couple of tickets available. If they're interested, how do they get them?
Very few tickets left. If you are interested in them, please call the office today. And because we're trying to finish up, we've got to make plans and preparations. So call the office today, and they're $50 a ticket, and we would love to have you.
And it sounds like you're going to more than get your money's worth out of a good meal. It's going to be a great meal, and it's for a great cause, which is even better as well. Yeah. My pearl of wisdom for today, successful and unsuccessful people do not vary greatly in their abilities. They vary in their desires to reach their potential. Successful and unsuccessful people do not vary greatly in their abilities. They vary in their desires to reach their potential. That'll wrap up our show for today. We'll close the week next week for your Friday edition. I know the Sheriff will be back to get us through that with the Cougar Sports Report as well. So until then, for Whitney Carmen, I am Sam Gormley, and guess what? Now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on K105.
WKHG, Litchfield.